Yes, I see it's 3:33. I'm not going to wait till 4:44. Good morning. Hmm. Yeah, let me just do the title and the blurb and then I'll tell the story. It's time to go in a different direction. When the idea to have a healing meeting came to me last week, I envisioned getting people together here at the Mary Horgan Center for prayer, meditation, and visualizing the new world we want to co-create. As I said yesterday, I even invited certain people that are healers to join me, but all had other commitments. As it turned out, 5 other men showed up here at the house, and what I envisioned never happened, not even closely resembling what I had envisioned. Today I will share more of the story and suggest some of the things I am learning from it. Perhaps this is indicative of what we need to learn as humans. Is it time to go in a different direction? I think it is, but each of you will have to be the judge of that for your own selves. I went to bed about 10 o'clock after the meeting last night, and I laid there praying and asking God, will you forgive me? And the question came back to me, will you forgive you? And I probably fell asleep by 10 after 10, I'm guessing. I woke up at 11:51 exactly. I had had a dream, and I was getting ready to go on an airplane to fly somewhere. That's all I remembered this morning. And then I woke up and I fell back to sleep, and I woke up an hour and a half later at 1:21 a.m. And I had had another dream. This time Dr. Mary and I were gathering the things from the hotel room to go catch the airplane, I assume to back home. Both dreams we were catching an airplane. Dr. Mary, I didn't see her in the first one. I don't remember much about the first one, but we were obviously not at home, and wherever we were, we needed to fly back home. We couldn't go by normal car, so it wasn't local. All of that followed the meeting last night, which I explained briefly in the blurb. It's the first time I think I've ever had a meeting here that it was only men, 6 men. 6 men. And I tried to share what I had envisioned for the meeting, but the conversation kept going off to making money and not letting people take advantage of your labors and your efforts. People were telling me I need to make money on making my videos, and I don't remember all of the suggestions. I was thinking of them as I was meditating here this morning, which, by the way, I actually got up an hour and a half after the second time of awakening. Each time was about an hour and a half of sleep, wake up, go back to sleep, another hour and a half, an hour and a half, an hour and a half. That's what it was. But the men, and it wasn't just one individual, the men were emphasizing making money. And I was trying to share my vision of a world where we don't focus on making money, where we are the value. And it has nothing to do with the monetary number of any kind. It has to do with recognizing our gifts, talents, and abilities. And one of the gentlemen laid into me and said, you're judging everybody. People have a right to earn a living and make money. And you're making people wrong, and that's wrong. You're judging people, Ron. You're judging people. You always do that. And I exploded. I exploded at this individual. I got very angry, and I said, and why do you think it's always your right to correct everybody? I don't want you here anymore. Don't leave and don't come back. The meeting is over. And I dismissed everybody. 3 of the men left, 2 of them stayed. And we talked until 9 o'clock. And then they went home. But the meeting that I had envisioned never happened. Instead, I became enraged at this individual who has done this numerous times before. This is not the first time. One time I had a speaker here, and he made the speaker wrong again. That's what he does. He makes other people wrong. And it's not about just sharing ideas. It's about, you got to see that you're wrong. And the lady actually went into the bathroom in tears and took about 10 minutes to compose herself before she could come out and finish the meeting. It's interesting because within the past week I had a conversation with the hostess of another group that I go to, and this same individual challenged me a couple of weeks ago in one of those meetings, and this individual was saying, if he's going to continue to behave like that, I don't want him in my house. And I've always been an inclusionist. And to tell somebody they're not welcome to come back, don't come back anymore. This is somebody that comes regularly to my group, but is often argumentative, often. In any case, I felt horrible. The 2 gentlemen that stayed said, you're probably relieved that you got that off your chest. Well, I said, I'm probably going to cry before the night's over. I actually didn't cry, but I was extremely heavy-hearted because I don't like to exclude anybody. But neither do I want to get involved all the time in when I'm trying to share a vision, to have to defend the vision against people that just can't see it. And the truth of the matter is, none of the men saw it last night. None of them. None of them saw where I was coming from, or at least it was not obvious to me that any of them got it. I mean, it was all about the world is the way it is. Government isn't going to change. Nothing's going to change. And you need to accept that, Ron. You know, stop trying to change the world. Well, I am trying to change the world. We have to go in a different direction. It's no maybes about it. We will destroy the planet. And I realize, as I'm meditating here this morning, I'm realizing how important it is for me to have women in my meeting. I wouldn't be able to handle men. I don't like the macho-ness of men. I don't like the masculine energy. I don't like the in-your-face stuff, even when it's coming from a woman. I don't like the in-your-face confrontation. I'd like to be able to sit back and gently. It can be with passion, but not making the other person wrong. You can communicate even passionately without attacking. And I reacted and attacked back last night, and I felt horrible for that. But I've never in my whole life liked the masculine energy. The men that I've been able to get closest to in my life are often gay men, or at least men that are in touch with their feelings and their feminine side. Because God knows, and I know, well, I don't know what God knows. I can't speak for God. Sometimes I think I can, but in any case, if we don't balance the feminine energy in what we're doing in this world, we're going to mess it all up. But a couple of people, at least yesterday, sent me messages saying, Ron, you're trying to build your group there at the Mary Horgan Center, but your group is scattered all over the world. We are your group, Ron. And I think that's what the dreams of catching airplanes were trying to tell me. The Mary Horgan Center, that's why Mary Horgan appeared in the second dream. She was helping gather the stuff because the ministry, or the mission, if you will, is not local. It's not local. And I've been trying to make it local, trying to build the community of support here. People here don't support me. Oh, there's a few that do. I got this beautiful letter from one of my friends. Actually, last week, I believe it came. Could have been the week before. Ron, you are a man of passion for the whole human race. Your commitment to providing understanding of what is and what can be is a gift to this planet. Your heart is huge, your loyalty unwavering, and your compassion deep. We are so blessed to know you, a man of integrity. But this individual, whom, by the way, I have defended more than once, when people wanted me to exclude him from the group, because he tends to dominate the group. He tends to be argumentative. He doesn't communicate cleanly and allow others to have a different point of view without trying to make them wrong. And I don't even believe the man sees it. And he's a tremendously talented man, tremendously knowledgeable, tremendously gifted. But he doesn't know how to communicate. And then he wonders why people don't want him in their world. And I don't know what his lessons are, but my lesson is, Ron, build what is. Don't try to build what isn't. And I got that pretty clearly this morning. How it's going to pan out, I don't know. I don't have any idea how it's all going to work out. But I really had to take a deep look at myself this morning and last night. Really a deep look. Because I so much want the world that I've seen since I was a boy, the kingdom of heaven on earth. I so much want that world to be the world that we're all living in. And I don't believe we can do it with just masculine energy. In fact, I'm sure we can't. We have to bring in the softness and the receptiveness and the ability to, and the willingness to learn from each other and to listen to each other. And that's a feminine, I think that's a feminine characteristic. And we so need that. We so need the goddess energy to balance with the God energy. The God energy being dominant, and it's either right or wrong, it's my way or the highway. You're either on our side or you're with the enemy. One of the men that was here last night that stayed and talked had written a book about George Bush being the Antichrist. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. It's his perception, and he spent 3 years writing the book. And there's lots of antichrists, and most of them are Christians, which is ironic. They don't understand Jesus. Jesus, I think, he and I would have probably gotten along pretty well, because I look at him as having a highly developed feminine nature, and I've always had a highly developed feminine side. In fact, I think I know I've shared it before, that one label said, one friend of mine said, "You're a male lesbian," and I can remember another lady saying, to one of her girlfriends, "Why would you choose so and so over Ron? Ron is such a nurturer." But I'm, of course, alone, and the macho guys are the ones that get the gals sometimes. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. But it broke my heart last night to have reacted in anger to a man that I honestly consider a friend. But I really don't want him to come into this house anymore with that attitude of making other people wrong. The lady who has the meetings on Friday nights, she had certain people that she would not allow. That's why she has always had a closed meeting by invitation only. And there were a couple of people in particular in our community that had a very strong tendency to be argumentative and to make other people wrong and challenge them. I remember one of those individuals one time, the lady was speaking, and this individual, this man, and they're men, they're always men, kept challenging the lady, and she finally says, "If you'd like to come up here and teach the class, then you come up and teach the class. I'll sit down." And of course, he shut up at that point. Her point was well made. And my point last night, I'm sure, was well made. And I'm sure it weighs heavy on his heart as well. He lost his wife, last year, and he's had a pretty rough time dealing with that loss. And when she was with him before, she used to be a balance to his aggressive conversational tendencies, and would tone him down a little bit. But we need that feminine. We really, really need that feminine, folks, in our communication. And I really do have a vision for healing and for taking our gifts and standing in our power and taking back the world from the tyrants that have taken over the world because we've relinquished our power, we've relinquished our rights, we've relinquished who we are. We've forgotten, and it's time to get it back. It's time to become whole again. It's time for healing. And I don't know exactly what I need to do to bring the whole world into these meetings, but maybe I need to start thinking of the technologies that are necessary to do exactly that. It's time to go in a different direction for me and for the whole world. Thank you for listening. Namaste.